Welcome to Becca's Bold Blurbs, quick and radical perspectives on living sober by getting the nonsense out of your noggin so you can get on with living this one wonderful life you've been given. Let's get to it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. I got a question for you. How much growth are you doing? And how do you tell? Did you know that sometimes we're growing, and we don't notice it? In fact, people who are really growing often can feel like they're not growing, and it's others that will notice. It'll be our friends or people close to us will go, wow, you didn't react to that the same way I kind of expected, or the way you used to react to things. You took that pretty calmly. Something goes wrong, and you'll have a girlfriend or somebody go, wow, I kind of thought you were going to freak out. And there you are going, oh, okay, I can handle this. So sometimes when we're growing, we really don't see it. Others will. But other times, and here's the sneaky piece, we can think we're growing and we're not. And one way we can tell is we can sit down, and this is why I always recommend journaling. So if you're not a journaler, you won't have anything to look back on, but you have two choices here. You can pull out your journals from last year and see where you were at. How are you feeling? What were you going through? What is your sort of, day after day as you're journaling? What are you talking about? Where are you at? How much growth, what are you aiming at? If you don't have a journal from last year, you can sit down quietly and journal through memory. You can look back. Where was I last year? What was I doing? How are things going? And the big question here you're asking yourself is, what is going on in my life this year compared to this time last year? And if there's really not much difference, if not much has changed, then you're going backwards. Because, as we've said before, we can't stand still. So how much growth have you done? And this can be you might be in the same job, sure, things might be the same like that, but how are you doing in terms, like, do you still have the same toxic people in your life? Are you still in a relationship that is not good for you? Maybe it is about your job. Are you still doing this a same job that you despise because you're too afraid to move and go somewhere else and try something different? Are you in a dead end job? And dead end jobs can be deceiving. I talk from experience. I had an amazing career as a college professor for 20 years. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was in a dead end job. It's a great job, but it doesn't go anywhere. You do the same thing year after year after year. I teach the same classes semester after semester, year after year. I do professional development to keep up with what's going on in my discipline. I do teaching conferences to make sure but I'm not going anywhere. It's the same, and it never occurred to me. It never occurred to me, wait a minute, till I hit 50, 52, 54, and then, of course, everything sort of in my life revolves around sobering up. I think, if I hadn't sobered up, I wouldn't have even come to this realization. I would have just been happy to have a job because I was so messed up by alcohol that, having a good job like that was quite unusual with someone that drank as much as I did. I was a very high functioning alcoholic, which is hell on earth. But once I sobered up and turned around and looked at my life, and I thought, look, you're over 50. Is this really what you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to teach these same classes year after year? It didn't feel inspiring to me at all. Sure, the students were learning how to write essays. That's not inspiring to me. I want to help people do things that are more exciting than writing an essay. And so then I had to come to but then I'm like, but yeah, but I got a really good salary and it's stable and it's not going anywhere and I've got really good benefits. I don't have to worry about, medical and extended health and other things like that. That's really hard to let go of. That's a pretty strong apron string to be tied to. And it took some soul searching, but you know what? I did it. I decided, even though it's scary, And I have to let go of that safe, secure salary that comes in month after month. And I have to give up the benefits that come along with it. I want to try something different because when I come to the end of my life, I want to know that I did stuff. I tried things. I went out on adventures. And so what did I do? No, I didn't go to a different job. Oh, no, not me. I decided to become an entrepreneur and start my own business. That means no salary. Nobody's going to pay me unless I can pay myself. That took a lot of courage. I'm not suggesting you do that. What I am suggesting you do is ask yourself if you're doing are you passionate about what you're doing? If you're enjoying your job and you're satisfied, that's fine. Are you growing personally? Are you in a relationship that you know is not good for you? Let's take a look at our lives and ask ourselves, is this the life I dreamed of when I was 12? Is this what I want to be when I grow up? It's worth asking. And if you're still drinking, I can guarantee you that you're not growing as you should be growing. It's not possible. And by drinking, I mean drinking, and you can't. Look, if you have one drink a week, nobody cares. I'm not talking about that, and you know that. I'm talking about problem drinking. I don't care how high functioning you are. If you can't control your drinking, then it's holding you back and it's making massive damage in your life. You know it, whether you want to admit it or not. And so I ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be growing? Is this the right career for you? Is this the right partner for you? Are you growing the way you want to grow? Are you learning acceptance and responsibility and peace and serenity and forgiveness of self and others? Are you still a victim of self-limiting beliefs? These things take a long time to get rid of. We work on them. That's what we do. We don't get rid of them. We work on them. They do slowly diminish. We do become stronger and able to take whatever life throws at us. But we have to have the willingness to grow and the desire to grow. And why? Who wouldn't want to grow? I think if you didn't want to grow, you wouldn't listen. You wouldn't be listening to these blurbs because it's all I ever talk about. I mean, you can go listen to other stuff, comedy or something. Go entertain yourself. I'm here to help you grow. That's what these blurbs are about. And get alcohol out of your life, which requires growth. It's the only way to do it, by the way. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to quit drinking and everything else will stay the same. Doesn't work that way. Then you become a dry drunk. And you know what? You might as well just keep drinking because there's nothing worse than a dry drunk. Nobody even wants to be around you. Unfortunately, or fortunately, if you have an alcohol problem, you have no choice but to grow if you want to have a happy, healthy life. And you know what? That can be a blessing or a curse. At first, it feels like a curse. After a while, you realize it's an absolute blessing. I get to grow. I'm forced to grow. Otherwise, I'm going to drink myself to death. Hallelujah. I'm in. Let's go. All right. Thanks for popping in today. There's your blurb. Sending you tons of love. Bye for now. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.